Are you so ready to start your journey in real estate, but your partner isn't very excited at all?
Well, we know all about that because that was us. In today's video, we're going to show you how to get your spouse on board with becoming a real estate investor.
If you're on our channel, that means you're probably interested in real estate investing. And most people that are interested in real estate investing understand how life-changing it can be. You've read the books, you listen to the podcasts, you watch all the YouTube videos, you follow investors in their journey on their Instagram, and you know that you can do it too, and it's time.
But maybe your partner thinks you're kind of crazy.
That was me. I was partners. But my incredibly patient, smart, and sexy partner over here showed me the light.
So before we talk about how I convinced my crazy wife to get on board, let's talk about what getting on board means, because it might have a different meaning to different people.
To some people, getting on board doesn't necessarily mean getting involved. This might just be getting your partner's blessing and trusting you to start your journey in real estate.
Now, to other people, getting on board might mean having your partner actually become your business partner where they're more hands-on, right? They're day-to-day with you in the business. But regardless of what getting on board looks like for you and your situation, we're gonna share a few ways we feel you can kind of help encourage your partner to see the same vision that you're seeing. So just to give you guys a bit of a backstory, right, on our journey first. Now, I've pretty much always had an interest in real estate, but I really didn't start taking things seriously until about 4 years ago. I began to educate myself by reading a ton of real estate books, listening to different podcasts, joining the Bigger Pockets forums before I was the host, and things like that, right? At this point, Sarah didn't even really realize how interested or invested I was.
Not at all. He would tell me things and I literally would ignore him.
Sir, I'm talking to you.
But he started to talk to me about real estate and his goals more often and would play so many real estate podcasts wherever we drove to try to get me interested and just aware of what he was doing.
Yeah, we went on a family trip to visit people in Louisiana where we ended up buying our first property, and I took her with me as we looked at houses and things like that.
But even with joining him and looking at properties and listening to these podcasts that he would play over and over and over again, I just didn't take it that seriously.
Right, we were in the middle of like planning a wedding. We just bought our own first primary residence. Then I come home one day and say, hey, I think I want to buy this house in Louisiana.
And first of all, Louisiana, like what? We've never been there. Why Louisiana? I had so many questions, but I did not care. All I cared about was that I knew I trusted him.
Yeah, but that's really an example of how Sarah was on board in the beginning. She wasn't my business partner. She wasn't analyzing deals with me. She wasn't helping me, find tenants or doing any of those things, but she gave me the trust and the support to make this financial decision for the both of us. So I took that and I ran with it, and I bought 4 more properties out of state in Louisiana without even really telling her.
So you're welcome is what you want to say. I mean, you're welcome to me or thank you to you?
No, I say thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And then last summer is when I kind of shifted focus into short-term rentals, but I knew that the commitment and the involvement in short-term rentals was going to be far greater than what we had with our 4 properties in Louisiana that were all long-term rentals. And that's when I kind of pitched the idea to Sarah and said, hey, do you want to do this, right? She was kind of unhappy with her job at the time. Our partner Omid and I thought that Sarah would be the perfect person. And honestly, we just kind of told her, hey, we think this is what you're gonna do for us.
And I was in.
Well, I'll let you speak to it, right? Like what were the things that you liked about short-term more than long-term?
So what interested me right off the bat with short-term rentals was that you provide a customer service experience. These are guests coming to our home for vacation, and you make memories in vacation, and that's just right up my alley. And again, he shared the numbers with me. Hey, money talks. But before we keep moving, we'd really appreciate it if you guys could give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, hit the bell for notifications. Every new subscriber really does mean a lot to us. So if you're enjoying the content, please, please, please subscribe.
Yeah, and we just recently crossed over 5,000 subscribers. So Good job. Thanks to all 5,000. We love you guys. We got to think of like a cool name, like I don't know, like Call Her Daddy calls all of her followers the Daddy Gang.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if we can.
We'll think about it.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. Anyway, follow us on Instagram. I'm at Tony J. Robinson. She's at Sara Rad. If you want to see us do funny dances on TikTok, you can follow us there at The Real Estate Robinsons. We've also got a totally free download for all of our viewers here on YouTube. Head over to alphageekcapital.com/calculator. And we've put together a free tool that helps you analyze properties that you're considering to purchase a short-term rental. And funny enough, I actually got a DM the other day. Someone sent me a message and said, hey, thank you so much for your calculator. Other people are charging for things that aren't even as good as what you just gave away for free. So check it out. Now, last, if you're not yet an Airbnb host, please sign up using our link in the description. You will get a cash bonus for signing up, and we'll get a small cash bonus for referring you as well. So Sara was on board early on, really just by trusting me and allowing me to buy those first few properties. And then she became fully on board, right? She became involved in the business, and just started kind of learning more herself. And now she's like the face of all of our short-term rentals.
That's right. And I'm studying currently to get my real estate license. Like, who would have thought? Would you? No, me neither. Like a year ago today, when you talk about real estate, I would literally like just smile and nod. So now that I'm getting my license, like, aren't you proud?
So proud.
Thanks. So let's find out where your partner stands currently. Your partner might either be A, semi-interested, but not enough to be involved. B, open to the idea, but not very excited about it. C, super against it and doesn't think it's a good idea for you guys. Or D, they're super excited and ready to take the leap with you. If they're D, super excited and ready to take the leap, then just ignore the rest of this video because this doesn't apply to you. But if they were A, B, or C, let's talk about what you can do to get them to see the vision. But first, you need to ask yourself, what kind of support are you looking for? The thumbs up or the hands up?
Now, fear, honestly, is usually the biggest reason for not wanting to try something new. Fear of losing money, fear of failing, fear of getting started, and all those things are very common and they hold so many people back from investing. So if you think this might be a reason your partner isn't interested, be patient with them, right? Listen to their fears and do your best to teach them and to reassure them and be supportive, and hopefully it'll be reciprocated. One quick note on fear. I heard this said so perfectly the other day in a podcast that I was listening to. People who live average lives achieve average levels of success. They are afraid of failure, and they let that fear of failure stop them from pursuing bigger and better things. People who are massively successful, they hate failure, but they're not afraid of it. They know that it's part of the journey and they do their best to avoid it, but they're not afraid of it happening to them because they know that failure is a necessary step in finding success eventually. So, if you're talking with your spouse, with your partner, whoever it is, and they have that fear kind of building up inside of them, ask them to see or just to kind of check, like, okay, what is the worst thing that's going to happen? Are you gonna end up homeless? Are you gonna, like, I don't know, like, what's the worst that could happen, right? Like, maybe you lose out on some money, but you can always make more money. But think about what's on the other side if you actually do achieve those goals, if you actually do build that portfolio, if you do go full-time in real estate, if you do get all that time back, if you do build generational wealth. Like, the upside is typically so much higher than the potential downside.
That's powerful. So let's get back to the steps that has helped us and we think will potentially help your spouses get on board. So step number 1 to getting your spouse on board is doing your own research. So if you want to convince your partner that investing your guys' hard-earned money is the right thing to do, you need to educate yourself and be prepared to answer all the questions that I'm sure your partner is going to have, because I have them too. So you need to know your stuff, and I promise you that will make your partner feel like you've done your homework, you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about, and you're not doing this blindly.
All right, step number 2 is to express both your how and your why as to why you want to get started in real estate investing, right? Why it's important to you. Most people have a why behind what they do, right? And why they want certain things in life. And if you explain this why to your partner, they may be more open to it if they see why it's so important to you. right? I was working for a big company after I graduated from college, multiple companies, and I was moving up the corporate ladder really quickly. But that also meant that as I moved up, my job demanded more and more and more of my time with every promotion. Like literally my last promotion, I almost told Sarah, like I didn't want it because I knew it was going to take more time.
You
and I
did say
expressed
that,
that to you. Yeah, right? And that was a big reason why I wanted to continue growing our portfolio, so that I had something that generated revenue, but didn't require as much time, right? Like I didn't want to be a slave to corporate America. That was my why. So again, express that to your partner. Tell them why it's important to you.
That helped me understand his why in wanting to invest in real estate. And step number 3 is to show the numbers. So again, this goes hand in hand with step number 1 with doing your homework. So the trick here is, Tony kind of touched on this already, but to focus on the potential profits that the investments can generate. So getting your spouse to understand that the reward can be greater than the risk is the better mindset to have, instead of just focusing so much on the amount that you guys have to invest in the first place. It's hard to let go of that hard-earned money, but it's less hard if you get your partner to see that other side of the rainbow and focus on the profits that can be made from the investment. Share with them the stories of other couples, real life couples that are breaking down the numbers. Show them our videos, right?
And have them subscribe.
Yes. And the last tip we have from personal experience is don't overwhelm them with a ton of new information. Real estate is and can be very confusing and dense, especially for rookies like I was. So if your partner has just warmed up to the idea, don't dump a load of real estate books or tell them to listen to all these podcasts and tell them that they need to learn all of this. Instead, try giving them real estate basics 101, like start off by teaching them the terminology first and then scale from there. Or not, they might hate it and just say that they trust you and never want to hear the word real estate ever again, but
Now, one kind of bonus tip, right, is to find a part of the real estate investing business that your partner enjoys. If you have a partner that loves talking to people, that's very, interactive, right? Is there a way that you can put him or her in a position to leverage that skill? Is it being the face of your short-term rental business? Is it being the property manager for your long-term rentals? There's so many different aspects of real estate investing that speak to different personalities and speak to different character types and speak to different tendencies that people naturally have. So try and find that fit between what your partner is already naturally good at and the skills that those things match up with in the world of real estate investing.
that's what you did with me, huh?
That's exactly what I did with you. It was like a Jedi mind trick.
Genius, evil witch. But this approach is what worked for us.
Now, I think the last thing to add here is that there has to be a foundation of trust between you and your partner. I was only able to buy that first investment property out of state in Louisiana because my wife, my fiance at the time, right? She trusted me. And I knew that it came with a big responsibility. And that, luckily, that first property turned out really well for us, right? Like it's kind of set us, and that first property worked out really well for us, right? It set us into motion to this business that we have today. So that's it. That's what we have. That's what worked for us. We hope that you guys got some value from it.
So we'd love to hear what you did to get your spouse on board or what on board means for you. So drop a comment below and let us know. So that's it for today, guys. I'm Sarah.
I'm Tony.
And we are the Real Estate Robinsons.